Imagine a world where words have power. Not just the power to express thoughts or feelings, but the power to shape destiny. This is the universe we find ourselves in today. A universe where a forgotten prophet, Émile de Charmant, born in the simplicity of a small village in the south of France, transforms his peculiar gift with words into a window to the future. Can you imagine a boy who, from a very early age, stood out among his peers, not for his physical strength or conventional intelligence, but for his ability to rearrange letters and find hidden meanings? While other children played in the fields or helped their parents, Émile was immersed in his own world, where the alphabet danced and transformed into new truths. The unexpected happened. When Émile was just 8 years old, a catastrophic flood swept away his village. A few who heeded the young prophet's warning were saved. Others, unbelievers, were not so lucky. As the years passed, Émile's premonitions became more frequent and accurate, and his comfort was offered beyond the mountains of the small village. By the age of 10, he had already understood that his gift was not just an eccentric hobby. The prophecy was in his blood, pulsing like an invisible chain that tied him to the destiny of humanity. One day, while leafing through an old book in the Senanque Monastery library, he came across a collection of Nostradamus's enigmatic quatrains. As he read them, he not only saw words, but vivid images formed in his mind, revelations of events yet to come. Have you ever heard of the prophecy that speaks of two hostile brothers in big cities? This simple phrase gained a new meaning for Émile. He understood that this was not just a local or trivial conflict, but a confrontation that involved entire nations and altered the course of history. As his visions intensified, Émile predicted a disease that would shake humanity, an unprecedented epidemic. A harbinger, perhaps, of modern pandemics such as the Spanish flu or the coronavirus itself that we have recently experienced. What do you think of these prophecies? Do you believe these are mere coincidences, or is there something deeper we can learn from them? Leave your comment below, as your opinion is essential to this discussion. There is the new sun that rises in the east. For Émile, this symbolized a new era, a new leader, or even a new awakening for a nation. Many scientists believe he was referring to Korea, a country that, like the new sun, would emerge to play a vital role on the world stage. Imagine a country that, against all odds, becomes a beacon of culture, technology, and innovation. Is this prophecy already being fulfilled before our eyes? Perhaps, like Émile, we need to look beyond the obvious, question the status quo, and seek the hidden meaning in the words and events around us. After all, as he believed, prophecies do not exist to terrify us, but to prepare and guide us towards a better future. Now, I asked you, what do these revelations mean for our present and our future? Write below what you think. Your insight could be the key to deciphering what is yet to come. If you liked this video and want to continue exploring the mysteries of the past and visions of the future, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Your comments and interactions are essential so that we can continue to bring you quality content. See you next time, with more stories that defy time and space. In the years that followed, Émile deepened his search for knowledge, immersed in libraries and the mysteries of ancient texts. At the monastery of Mont Saint-Michel, surrounded by waters that isolated him from the outside world, he found a refuge for his restless spirit and a perfect arena for his prophetic training. With each new vision, each new interpretation of Nostradamus's quatrains, he felt that a greater force was guiding him towards something greater. One night, in the pale moonlight spilling through the monastery window, he saw a disturbing vision. As he stared at a flickering candle, he saw the words transform into a single term: revolution. A dangerous word in the France of Louis XVI, a word that carried the weight of imminent change and an uncertain future. Émile knew he had to alert those around him. He delivered his warning to the abbot of the monastery, but he knew that many would not heed the words of a young monk with select gifts. However, his warning could not be clearer. And indeed, a year later, the world witnessed the beginning of the French Revolution, an event that forever changed the course of history. Louis XVI fell, the old order was destroyed, giving way to a new era. Émile's vision was not just a portent of what was to come, but a reminder that destiny can be read and perhaps shaped. If he had deciphered the destiny of a nation, what else would be hidden in the enigmas he studied so much? In the midst of his reflections, a new revelation emerged, something that worried him deeply. Among Nostradamus's quatrains, one in particular caught his attention: an unknown disease will strike the public. For Émile, this was not just a metaphor or an allegory of ancient times. He felt an urgency, a foreshadowing that the world would once again face a devastating plague. However, this time, it would be a disease with no known cure, something completely new. He knew he needed to alert the modern world, but how to do it? If we consider history, the pandemic that hit the world in 2020 could be the fulfillment of this prophecy. As Nostradamus scholars have pointed out, many of his perspectives came true in unexpected and surprising ways. It is possible that Emil correctly interpreted a warning that still resonates centuries later. But what about the last part of the prophecy? What new sun do Nostradamus and Emil refer to? It could be a new leader, a new ideology, or perhaps a nation that will emerge to change the global balance. Experts still debate whether this new sun could represent Korea, flourishing as a center of progress in a post-crisis era. The question remains open, and like many other prophecies, time is the only judge. Now, I ask you again, are we ready for what's to come? Are the prophecies a warning to prepare, or are they just a reflection of the anxieties of our own times? Leave your opinion in the comments, because your perspective may illuminate an aspect that has not yet been considered. And so, with these reflections and mysteries, we close today's video. Remember, your participation is critical. Like, subscribe, and share your thoughts. Each interaction is a step towards better understanding what the past teaches us about the future. Until next time, where more secrets will be revealed and more mysteries will be unraveled. May your hopes come true, and may we all navigate these uncertain times together. As Emil continued to explore the mysteries of the prophecies, he saw that the words, when read carefully, revealed not just one path, but multiple possibilities. He began to realize that just as letters could be rearranged to create new words, the prophecies themselves could have varying interpretations depending on how they were approached. And so, instead of seeking absolute certainties, Emil embraced the ambiguity of variations, understanding that the future is malleable and that each human choice influences the course of events. In the final years of his life, Emil dedicated himself to compiling a book that not only reinterpreted Nostradamus's quatrains, but also added his own views. This manuscript became known as the Charmant Codex, a rare text that combines ancient omens with new insights. In one of his last notes, he mentions, "The future is a tapestry woven by invisible hands. Each thread, a decision. Each knot, a destiny that could be undone." He believed that although the prophecies showed what could be, the real power lay in how we choose to react to them. The Charmant Codex is now one of the most debated texts among scholars of prophecy and history. Some see in it an echo of the events that transformed the world in recent centuries, while others believe that there are still unrevealed messages about the future. There are those who know that certain passages may contain clues about future events, from catastrophic climate change to the rise of new global leaders. And here an intriguing question arises. Is Emil trying to tell us that the power of prophecy lies not only in predicting, but in preparing? He constantly emphasized that understanding the words was just the first step. Action, how we reacted to this knowledge, was what really mattered. This is what makes his prophecies so unique and relevant even today. As the modern world faces global crises such as the pandemic, climate change, and political instability, Emil's lessons invite us to look beyond fear and uncertainty. They challenge us to use our own discernment and act with purpose and awareness. Not just wait for the result, but shape the result with our own hands. And now, I leave an invitation to you, attentive viewer. How do you interpret these old warnings? Are they just echoes of a time gone by, or do they contain truths we can use today? Share your ideas below. Your point of view may be what we need to decipher together the mysteries of Emil de Charmant and Nostradamus. With that, I thank you once again for following this journey into the unknown. Continue following us, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any details of upcoming revelations. We're just beginning to explore the depths of what's to come. The Charmant Codex became more than a simple prophetic text. It has evolved into a guide for those seeking answers in an increasingly uncertain world. And while some scholars try to uncover what remains hidden between its pages, others wonder what Emil would have predicted had he lived longer. Would he have spoken about the advancement of artificial intelligence, the ethical challenges of the 21st century, or the never-ending search for identity in an era of globalization? One of the code's most cryptic statements mentions the flames that dance on the screen, a passage that some believe is a reference to a form of communication that would cross borders, perhaps the internet, or something yet to emerge. Emil's words seem to have a mysterious depth, showing that he not only anticipated the technological future, but also humanity's way of communicating and connecting across eons. And what about another intriguing prophecy that mentions the faceless eyes that watch over the world? Many see this as an allusion to modern surveillance systems and the increasing loss of privacy. Others see this passage as a warning about emotional disconnection in an era dominated by social media, where a person's face is replaced by a profile, and the voice is lost among clicks and algorithms. As time passes, the Charmant Codex does not lose its relevance, but rather gains new layers of meaning. Some believe that he still holds secrets about our future, and that the true interpretation of his words will only be revealed when the right moment arrives. Perhaps, as Emile suggested, some prophecies only make sense when we are ready to understand them. Now it's up to you to decide, are these words warnings or instructions? Reflections on possibilities or certainties engraved in destiny? As Emile himself once said, don't just look at the future you want, look at the present you can change. We are living in times that he perhaps predicted, times of transformation, of critical choices, of moments when the world seems to hang in the balance. And if we could ask Emile today, perhaps he would tell us to not just wait for what is coming, but to prepare, to become active participants in creating our future. As we close this chapter today, think about the role you play in the story still being written. What will you do with the knowledge you have? How will you use the lessons of the past to shape tomorrow? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And as we reflect on these questions, we will meet again here, where the words of the past echo with the possibilities of the future. Until then, keep your mind open and your spirit curious.